The Jewish Culture Trail. Our trip in Żarki. The town of Żarki is closely connected with the Jewish culture as since the 17th century till the World War II. It was the place where the Jewish were the majority of the town population. The town of Żarki is the only place in the north of the Kraków-Częstochowa upland where we still can see some remains of the Jewish culture, the Jewish temple, the Jewish cemetery called Kirkut, and the characteristic urban center, tenant houses. The urban center is called the Old Town, and it used to be the main living place of the Jewish. The Old Kirkut. There are not remains of the first Jewish cemetery, but in Górki Street, here were the second, so-called the Old Kirkut. It had existed till the third Kirkut was started in Polna Street in 1821. The only fragment of the Old Kirkut is a large yard that probably hides some human remains tombstones. The Jewish cemeteries and funeral homes were situated at the distance of 15 ells from the nearest houses. The religious rules obligated the family to bury the dead as soon as possible, even the day of death. Kirkut in Kierków. Near Polna Street, in so-called Kierków, we can still see one of the biggest and the most interesting Jewish cemeteries in Jura. It was started in 1821. The cemetery was partially renovated and tidied thanks to Elis Borowski, who was born in Żarki. In 2004, the inhabitants of Żarki, the local authority and Elis Borowski asked the Department of Judaism of Jagiellonian University to make an academic Kirkut cataloging and publish it as a book. In Kirkut, there have been preserved about 700 graves, so we can see some standing and fallen tombstones, tombs, and framed graves at the remains of obelisks. The synagogue. Synagogue is a place of assembly, prayers and teaching. There exists information about two Żarki synagogues from 1790 to 1792. A third one, so-called Reformed one, was established around 1870. It was the most magnificent one in its unique neo-Romanesque Moorish style, a style which was only altered in the after-war repairs in the years of 1954 to 1957. Next to it, from the south, there was a smaller and older neoclassical synagogue devastated during the war and Nazi military control. Today, the melodious prayers of Jews cannot be heard here anymore. No one lights the Sabbath candles. Characteristic town planning. The center of the town around the old square and all neighboring streets were places where the most Jews lived. In Kościelna Street, we can see a characteristic compact settlement. In the interwar period, there were a lot of small shops and workshops that belonged to the Jews. There are still a few authentic buildings that architecture style, houses number 3 and 5 in Leśniowska Street and houses number 1 and 3 in Myszkowska Street. Ghetto. The inhabitants of Żarki didn't escape the extermination during the World War II. On 4 September 1939, 2 days after the Germans had invaded the town, a lot of people were arrested and 102 people were executed. They were mostly Jews. The invaders suppressed the Jewish autonomy and established the Seniors Committee, Judenrat, that had to follow and fulfill all Nazi orders. The Jews could not leave the town. They had to wear the armband with the symbol of David's star, and their houses were also marked.